So I had one of those nights tonight. It was a good night, bad night. Yeah. But we're gonna have two conversations in one. So I did a little drinking, whatnot, whatever, but I'm not gonna blame this on, you know, it's not on that. This is on me. You get what I'm saying? So first thing we're gonna talk about is containing your emotions and your thoughts. Okay? There is no possible way that you can be your emotions or your thoughts. Now, I challenge anybody's authenticity or um, their genius or whatever you want to call it. I'm not 100% right now. I'm like 98%. So look at it like this. If you were your feelings, then how is it possible for your feelings to change you? If you were your thoughts, how is it possible for your thoughts to change you? If you are these things, then these things cannot change you because you are these things. So now that we established that you are not these things because these things are able to change you, then what is it that is watching these things to take accountability for them? So, what is it that is watching these feelings that come into contact with you? When you have a feeling, there is something that sees this feeling, approves these feelings, and lets you know this is how you're feeling. There is something that approves these thoughts when these thoughts come in and lets you know that you're having these thoughts. So now that we established that you are not these things and that something is approving these things, you are the thing that is approving these things. So when you feel like, fuck, I don't like this motherfucker, that's irrelevant. You get what I'm saying? How you feel about somebody is irrelevant to how you treat them. Because how you treat them is you being reactive, which you should be proactive in that situation, in any situation. You know, this is why I don't like when motherfuckers lie on me and be like, he did this, he did that. Because regardless of what the situation is, regardless of if it's my job, if it's my family, if it's my friends, like I don't lie. Everybody lies, okay? But I'm at the point in my life where I don't do that, especially if I'm conscious of it, for the simple fact that I have control over myself. I have control over my feelings and I have control over my emotions. Same thing, and have control over my thoughts. You know, don't get it twisted. Sometimes it's hard. It's hard to be the God you are. You know what I'm saying? But I I have control over these things. And I know that I have control over these things. So never will I put this blame on you and blame you for these things. You know what I'm saying? So with me having this understanding and this control, if I ever do something outside of my character, never will I blame you for it. Never will I say it's your fault. Never will I point the finger. You get what I'm saying? I always say, you know what? I fucked up. It's my fault, and I take responsibility for what I do, because that's what's wrong with most of us. We don't have accountability. Nobody has accountability. Everybody wants to blame the devil, or everybody wants to say, "Yo, God don't love me," or God does this, the devil does this. I'm not that individual. I don't blame the devil for shit. The devil is doing what the fuck God instructed him to do. And I don't blame God for shit because God is doing what the fuck he's supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? So, and me personally, not saying I don't believe in God and I don't believe in the devil, but they're the same motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? So, boom, with that out the way. You know what I'm saying? You realize that you're not your feelings and you're not your emotions. So, therefore, you are the thing that watches these things. You watch your thoughts come into play and you say, I agree with that thought, and then you run with it. Same thing with your emotions. You say, I agree with that emotion, and you run with it. You get what I'm saying? But you are the thing that agrees with that feeling or that thought. You know what I'm saying? That's how you control these things. It's not easy to control. Trust me, it's not. It's not. It took me a long time to get here. You know what I'm saying? And it's really fucked up that, you know what I'm saying, I had to spend the night drinking with the homies and shit and fucking come to you and be like, oh, this is how shit works. You know, I'm just in a comfortable place right now, um, to be able to talk about this. And maybe later I could be like, oh, it was the liquor's fault. But like I said, I'm better than that. So I'm not going to say it was the liquor's fault. I'm just be like, just me. You know what I'm saying? I'm just in a comfortable spot to talk about it right now. That, you know, that's just how things are. So if you want to conquer your emotions, the thing is to rewire yourself, to reevaluate yourself. Um, so I mean, I kind of been slacking. I've been slacking a lot. I've been slacking on, um, you know, taking accountability, not in the sense of uh, other individuals, but in myself, as on taking accountability for what I eat, taking accountability for how I see things, and how I make judgment on myself. You know, I've been slacking on those things. So I know I've been slacking on those things, which is cool. So I don't put the blame on anything. Like, even though I tell people, oh man, I gained this weight because I work overnight and there's nothing healthy to eat at fucking 2 o'clock in the morning. I gotta eat fast food. You know, even though I may tell you that, I know deep down within myself that that is my decision. I could have easily just said, you know what, I'm gonna fight that decision. I'm gonna ignore that decision of me choosing unhealthy and unwisely to do something and do what I gotta do. So that's my fault. You know what I'm saying? When I come in contact with my higher self, I say that's my fault. I don't blame it on anything else. Even though when I talk to you, I blame it on the shift I work or whatever. Like, you get what I'm saying? So, um, the thing is paying attention to who you are, what you want, and what you need. Okay? If you know that you need to do this and you need to do that, there's no rush for you to do that thing. You don't have to do that thing right then and there. It will probably be wise and beneficial for you to do that thing. But the best thing is for you to be able to take accountability to say that this is my fault. It's not the situation's fault. It's not anybody's fault that I made this choice. It's your fault. You get what I'm saying? Once you conquer that road, I don't care whether it's your feelings or your emotions or the way you think. You're already rewiring yourself, you know, to put yourself on a better path. That's all it takes, is to understand that you have control over that you are controlling that. All right. So that's the first thing. That's That's the first conversation. I'm gonna leave that alone. If I gotta go deeper, I'll go deeper some other time. The second thing is this motherfucker Martin Luther King. Now, don't get me wrong, Martin Luther King is awesome, right? We like Martin Luther King. My horrible ass nails right now. But yeah, Martin Luther King, right? I said yeah. So the thing about Martin Luther King is um this is mainly for black people. If you're pro black, pro color, you know what I'm saying? So I guess this would also involve Latin people. Um, it's his fault. It's his fault we are where we are today. Reason why I say it is his fault is because he pushed that integration thing. You know, he pushed it to us all being one society, which I mean, it's cool, you know what I'm saying? But you have to understand that you will never be an equal, whether you're Latin, whether you're black, you know, whatever. If you're not white, you're not white. That's cool. You know what I'm saying? When it comes down to entitlement, that you know you earn this, you deserve this or that, like you'll never get that. So you should never look at anything as I'm entitled to or I earn this because unless you're white, you know what I'm saying? I know it's not horrible to me, but I'm speaking to, for one, the people that are people of color, as in black people or Latin people, but at the same time, I'm also speaking to the people who are um, feeling in a way that, oh, that's somewhat racist. You know what I'm saying? We're all one people. We're not all one people. Um, I just want to know: are you equal to your mom? Are you equal to your dad? Are you equal to the president? Are you equal to Drake? Are you equal to fucking the chick that work at McDonald's or the guy that work at the car wash? So if you don't feel you're equal to any one of those people on an individual level, um, how can we all be equal as a society? You get what I'm saying? If you don't feel that you're equal to someone, I'm not going to compare you to someone at a higher standard because someone at a higher standard you would, of course, want to be equal to. And if you don't feel equal to them, you will feel eventually you will be equal to them, right? So, someone at a lower standard, you don't feel equal to someone who lives under a bridge. You get what I'm saying? Because you feel they made that choice, that they choose to live there, they choose to be that way, and maybe they do, which is cool. You know what I'm saying? Everybody has their own choices, and every choice comes with a consequence. But if we're all an equal race and equal people, then you should still consider them your equal. But you don't. You consider them lesser than. So if you as an individual consider someone lesser than you, then how can us as a society, us as a whole, a group, a nation, a society, a world, consider everybody to be equal? It don't work like that. You can't pick and choose your battles. It's either we fucking or we not. Simple. You get what I'm saying? So, um, and I blame Martin Luther King for that. Martin Luther King said, in the beginning, you know, he had a dream. White people and black people can eat at the same table, go to the same school, and do the same shit. And of course, now we are going to the same school, eating on the same table, and all of that shit. But guess who views themselves as better than the other? I'll let you answer that question. So that way I'm not being racist. You know what I'm saying? And the other side gets treated like shit, and the other side gets treated like royalty. The other side gets the benefits, and the other side is just a bunch of criminals. And like, regardless, like I used to do a whole bunch of shit. Like, I was a horrible person. Well, I wasn't a horrible person, but I wasn't as good as I am now. You know what I'm saying? I don't smoke weed anymore. I don't do drugs, period. I drink here and there. Like, I don't drink every day. I, with the homies, or, when I go out to chill or whatever, which is very rarely, I stay to myself. You know what I'm saying? But guess what? When I go out, I still get viewed as the nigga who do above average. You know what I'm saying? He probably rob, he steal, he do this, he do that. I do none of these things, but I still get treated that way. You get what I'm saying? So, man, everything's about perspective, and it sucks now to have this perspective that I have now because um, sometimes I wish I can go back to not knowing what I know. Because if I didn't know what I would know, then maybe I would live a normal life and be happy. You get what I'm saying? But knowing what I know, it's like I got to be happy knowing what I know. You know what I'm saying? And I have a lot of people look at me like, yo, this motherfucker's crazy. Like, look what the fuck he talks about. Look what the fuck he does. You know, I bet you my Instagram would be popping if I was talking about dollars and talking about bitches and all of that shit and speaking on bitches. Like, I'm gonna stop calling bitches bitches, like, because I know better. I know that regardless of if she's a hoe or she's not a hoe, you know what I'm saying? Whether she know better, if she don't know better, I know better. It's my fault. It's not her fault. You know what I'm saying? It's how I view it. You know what I'm saying? So I shouldn't treat her any different because of her upbringing. Her upbringing is what made her the way that she is. You get what I'm saying? And my upbringing is what made me the way that I am. But even though my upbringing made me the way that I am, I altered my path and changed the way that I was by the knowledge that I attained. So even though that I blame Martin Luther King on a whole, on a society of their outlook and how things are and how people view things, and they'd be like, "Oh, if you did this, how would Martin Luther King view it?" Fuck that guy. Fuck that guy. Before that guy died, guess what? You know why he died? Because he tried to tell us that he made a mistake. He tried to tell us that, yo, we would have had our own shit, we would be good right now. You know what I'm saying? We would be able to bring something to the table. But we can't bring nothing to the table right now because we are in an integrated system. Therefore, they pay us for all our jobs. They pay us for what we do. They give us everything. You get what I'm saying? A place to stay, shit to eat. They control everything because we integrated into a system instead of having our own shit when we did have our own shit. If you look into fucking, I think it's Greenwood. Um, just look up 19. I forget what it is. I think it's 1921. Uh, Black Wall Street. Um, how they fucking just flew over with planes and just bombed all of that shit. You know what I'm saying? Killing women, children, men, everything. Just drop bombs and fucking had a mob of people come in and destroy shit, because that society was projected to do better than the society that we have now. You get what I'm saying? And that society would eventually outgrow the society that we're living in now. So, I mean, if you want, you can call me crazy. You can blame it on the liquor. You can, whatever. It is what it is. You know, like I said, I'm not blaming it on the liquor. I'm just comfortable at where I'm at right now. And it is what it is. But best believe, one day I'm gonna touch bases on controlling your emotions and your feelings, and on this Martin Luther King shit and this Malcolm X shit a little better. You know what I'm saying? In a formal way, um, on their each individual platforms. Um, but I just wanted to ramble a little bit and talk about it a little bit while I was in this comfortable space to be able to let myself vibrate at this level to uh, give this to you without any repercussions or feeling any kind of way about it. So if, in case I decide to blame something, I have the fall guy. It's the Remy Martin. It's the Remy. It's the Remy. But yeah, I doubt I'll do that. So you guys have a good night. Um, I don't know what else to say. If you vibrate on the awesome level, keep vibrating where you vibrate at. I know that it's hard to attract people that are normal. Um, but the goal is not to be normal. The goal is to be you. And being you is being normal. Being normal is not being normal. Being you is being normal. And until the rest of these motherfuckers catch up, you should just be you. I know it's a lonely road. It's a lonely path. It's hard to find those individuals that vibrate on your level. But, we're in the age of Aquarius right now. And, that's what it is right now. Starting September 18th through the 23rd, I'm not sure exactly when. Saturn will start moving again. Jupiter starts moving before that. Pluto starts moving with Saturn. A lot of planets will come out of retrograde. We'll still have Mercury in retrograde, but who the fuck needs their motherfucking thoughts when you got your intuition? Your intuition always has a lot to do with your vibration and your soul, and what you're comfortable with and what you're uncomfortable with. So I'm just gonna leave that at that, and you put all the pieces together and figure out everything else. So have a good night.